How's it going, people? And welcome back to Bleed Blue, your home of everything Chelsea, for your match review of Arsenal 1, Chelsea 0. I said in my preview 1-1, I overestimated us. I thought we would get a goal, but it's Chelsea, and I've learnt my lesson now. So thank you guys so much for joining me. We're going to go through some things. We're going to go through the lineups. We're going to give you my player ratings and just our general consensus on the game. So, yeah, again, thank you guys so much for joining me. Please remember, like, subscribe. This is a new channel, so it would really help to get me kick-started off. And before we get further into the review, I want you guys to look at this because I feel like this video sums up everything that is wrong with Chelsea Football Club at the moment. So, here, take a look at this. Arsenal's Jurien Timber tells Enzo Maresca to try harder before shaking his hand. Watch this. This tells you everything you need to know. I might be reading into it a bit much, but if you're away in a London derby in a must-win, going for Champions League football, this is a big game. You think this gets let go? You think Jose Mourinho smiles and shakes his hand? You think Thomas Tuchel smiles and shakes his hand? You think Carlo Ancelotti would stop, smile at him and shake his hand? You remember what happened when Thomas Tuchel shook Antonio Conte's at the hand at the bridge against Tottenham? And I think if he tried that with Jose Mourinho, I would be scared for his safety. I don't think he gets out of the stadium without being... So, that shows you everywhere that the headspace is at the club. Now, I think that summed up the game. It didn't look like we were going to win. Like, not going to win as in that sense. It didn't look like we were trying to win. It didn't look like we had the intensity, the game plan. It looked like we went there on damage limitation to try and stop it from being a 4-5-0. We played like it, and we got very lucky that Arsenal, in my opinion, were incredibly average. Let us get away with quite a lot, and I think we were that poor that it made them... They didn't have to come out of any gears. They didn't have to put the foot down. They didn't have to do anything. But I've seen a lot of people putting it on Enzo Maresca, the blame, and I do think he was pretty one-dimensional in this match. It's the same system that we've seen in the previous four against who? Southampton, Leicester, Copenhagen 2 times. Very different opposition. This Arsenal defence is, I'm going to say, probably the best defence in the league. And we tried sideways, backwards. That's all. We didn't have anyone that actually wanted to go for it. No one did. Caicedo, Enzo, maybe, look like the only players. But I'm going to say it now. Enzo Maresca is not a Chelsea-level manager. You've seen a lot of other people in here say it. He's not. Some of these players are not Chelsea-level players. Who signed these players? Who built the squad? The sporting directors. Who hired the sporting directors? The owners. It's not all. Maresca is a byproduct. And people saying Maresca out. If Maresca goes, do you think they're going to go for Jose? Do you think they're going to go for a top manager? No. We'll be looking in the Scottish League, the second tier of the Scottish League. We'll be hiring some guy because he's a yes man, like Enzo Maresca. We saw him speak so well at the start of the season. And what's happened now? He doesn't speak like that. He stopped speaking like that. He stopped speaking with any sort of confidence at all. And you know why that is? He's been told to. He is, I think it was Eunice from Eunice Talks Football that said it. He's just a mouthpiece for the media. He'll get briefed on what to say and he'll come out and say it. I feel like at the start of the season he at least spoke with a bit more chest. But I'm not putting this on Maresca. Game-wise, in the game, yes, maybe Maresca's tactics. But if you think, and I know there might be a majority that think this, if you think the biggest problem at this football club is on the pitch, wake up, please, because you need to. There's a lot deeper problems than just the football at this club. And it's not going to change. Until these owners leave, It's not going to change. They're too deep into this project to scrap it, go for experience, because that's exactly what this game was screaming for today. If we had an experienced striker, a box presence, even just a striker, because we went into January with Nicholas Jackson and Mark Guiu. We didn't need to sign a striker. We could have. Sporting directors, owners, they said no. They didn't want a striker. That's came back to bite us in the ass. Arsenal don't have a striker, but they have experience to cover it. We don't. That's the difference between, I hate it, but an elite club and us. We've been turned into Dortmund, a team like that. Buy cheap, sell high. Buy young, sell at 20. Because at the rate we're going to be going to primary schools and looking for players. We'll be watching. That sounds mad. It's going to be like a Diddy party. We'll be looking through the gates trying to scout the next young kids. Because that's all we do here at Chelsea Football Club. Kids FC. And it's not going to change anytime soon. Now, on to matters on the pitch. No Cole Palmer today, interestingly. Injured in training. But it was muscle fatigue. Or that's what came out. But yet, he still came on against Copenhagen in the Conference League. Yeah, again, why are we relying on Cole Palmer to come on in the Conference League? It's not good enough, honestly. I know 4-game winning streak, but this... Interrupted by the dog. I'm sorry. I can't give it. Back onto topics. Right. We're going to go over the lineups. We're going to go over the actions that happened in this game and try and figure out where it went wrong for Chelsea. So let's take a look at SofaScore. Now, you can see how we lined up. Robert Sanchez. Oh my God. You know, I'm not even going to wait. I'm just going to say it now. Get this guy out the club. Yes, he made that save. Took it off the line. But come on. What is there, evidence-wise, to tell me that he is better than Philip Jorgensen? Now, don't get me wrong. I don't think any of them are Chelsea level. Maybe Jorgensen as a backup. But if we're playing Champions League football, we need a good second-choice goalkeeper. What is there to Sanchez that Enzo Maresca likes? I don't think there is anything. I think it's coming from up there to get his value up. 'Cause let's be honest, they can play him as much as he want. Who's going to buy Sanchez? Who in their right mind would see how he's playing and buy him? Let's take a look at his stats here. Let's take a look. Because watch, it won't be any better. Let's move me out of the way so you can see. Errors leading to shot 1. How's he already having? You shouldn't be having these every game. And I know there was more. There was more that didn't lead to a shot. He did make one good save. Maybe a few more. Says he's got 4 here. But the one that I can remember, and then at the start when he's just giving it out to the fucking... Oh, excuse my language. He's just... I really don't know. I think Georgi Petrovic should come back. I think he starts all day over Robert Sanchez. He needs to go in the summer, but the problem is where. I think he's under contract till 2030, if I'm being honest. So it's going to be a rough one, but we will have to come back to that. Mark Cucurella, Benoit Badiashile, Levi Colwill, and Wesley Fofana made the back 4. Now, Cucurella I definitely thought was one of the better players. Turned out that he was the only threat going forward that we had, which is nothing short of alarming. Benoit Badiashile looked a bit dodgy playing out from the back at the start of the game, but I feel like he grew into it more as the game went on. Still not the most convincing. Levi Colwill was... We'll take a look at Levi Colwill. So we'll have a look. 5 clearances, 1 block shot, 1 interception, 1 tackle. 4 ground duels attempted, 2-1, 3 out of 5 aerial duels, lost possession 10 times. Now I feel like playing out from the back in this game, there was a lot of times where we were just reckless. It looked like Chelsea last season. I don't know if you picked up on it as well. We just look, when we get the ball, it's like deer in headlights. It's like, what do we do? We've got the ball. What do we do now? Just kick it. Kick it somewhere and hope. That's what it looks like. There's no composure. It's only when we get it into their half and we're going sideways and sideways. It's like hypnotizing. It's like that. watching that going round and round, but we'll move on to that when we get to the attack. Wesley Fofana, this guy could have been sent off. And before I started recording, I saw some of the racial abuse. There's no room for that, no matter what. You cannot be doing that. It's disgusting that that's still in the game. And that was on his Instagram. So, yeah, no matter how... It was a bit of a stinker. I'm not saying it was mental, but the tackles, he just looked so erratic. Like, you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying. You watch the game. Now, we will have a look at Moises Caicedo. Now, Moises Caicedo is one of those players who, every game, even if the team is playing Sugar Honey Iced Tea, SHIT, he will still be there and give you a solid performance no matter what. That's what £115 million should get you. I think, honestly, as much as I hate Brighton, I think we should send them, what we say, Caicedo, the way he's playing, another 100 million. Maybe while they're at it, the owners could just buy Brighton and sell up Chelsea, hopefully. Fingers crossed, Don Roman, save us. Although that is incredibly unrealistic. Now, moving on to his double pivot partner in Reece James, who was the captain. Of course, we know club captain. I think the thing with Reece is he's not the vocalist. I thought there was quite a few times where he was caught out of possession in the wrong positions. We can take a look. I feel like he got bypassed pretty easily in the middle. 48 touches, 93% accurate passes. 2 accurate long balls, 1 accurate cross, 1 out of 2 ground duels won, 6 times possession lost. Now, you feel he's a lot more of the laid back. Caicedo's more of the destroyer. If you look at his heat map, it wasn't inverting. We've seen Enzo Maresca come out and say this, that he sees Reece James as an out and out midfielder. Of course, he had the loan spell at Wigan quite a while ago now where he just played as a midfielder, and I know he can do it. We've seen him be able to do it. And of course, I think it does help to preserve his hamstrings as well, because it's not bombing up and down. You still have to cover a lot of ground in defensive midfielder. It might not be long sprints, but it's a lot of movement. It's not just stationary. But we'll have to wait and see, because international break now, I think it's 3 weeks. So we will see Thomas Tuchel, Mr. TT. We'll see what he does with Reece James, because it's going to be interesting, because I think Tommy T will still use him as a right wing back, getting up and down. So we'll have to see, because it's definitely a lot more tough on the body. So we'll see if Reece James can sustain his fitness. All prayers, fingers crossed, everything crossed that we can keep Reece James. Onto the forward line now. Christopher Nkunku. As Isak did to Liverpool, leave. Get out. As well, he just is so lazy. It feels like he doesn't care. Now, he had the move to Bayern. I don't know if his head is at the club. I feel like this is his chance. Cole Palmer injured. Noni Madueke. He's not been getting minutes before, but now you're getting played game in, game out, and he's not showing anything. This guy is done at Chelsea Football Club. Unless we see a miracle, I don't see a way Christopher Nkunku stays. I think we need to cash out in the summer. I don't think he's good enough at all. He's doesn't have the work rate. He's not a winger. Of course, you see he's playing winger here, but of course we know Cuckoo will get up, go round, and then Nkunku will move into kind of the inside forward position, but he's just absolutely dog shit. Long balls, 1 out of 1, 39 touches on the ball, 0 shots, 0 dribble attempts, 5 out of 8 ground duels, 7 times possession lost. Overall, not a good game. And we really need to start seeing more from Christopher Nkunku, because it's all good when you do it in the Conference League against Wi-Fi passwords, but when you're actually being trusted in the league, different story. There's no leeway. You're playing Arsenal. It's play well or you're done. And I think his Chelsea career might just be coming over the cliff of being over. So let me know what you think on Nkunku. Enzo Fernandez. Now, I don't think it was his best game, of course. No one had their best game today. But, of course, he had the chance when he was through. and he shot. He should have held it up and waited for some support from the likes of Neto and everyone else. 2 key passes, so it's not bad. 73% accurate passes, 4 attempted long balls, and 1 completed. So overall, it's not the best game from Enzo Fernandez, but I don't necessarily think it was an absolute stinker. Jadon Sancho. What are we going to do? He just lacked anything. Creativity. Didn't even look like he was trying it. Like, like your Hazards, that's who we miss dearly. Nani Madueke, I want a public apology from everyone that was hating on him, because now you see why he was so instrumental to the way we were playing. Someone that can take on the players. That's what we missed. We missed any sort of cutthroat, sharpness, run at them, make something happen. It was all side to side. You have the ball. No one wanted to go for it and kill. That's the problem. We don't have killers right now. Jadon Sancho, poor game again today. Pedro Neto, of course, not his position. You can see very much a false 9 shift from him. Just look at the 18-yard box. Nothing. We lack a striker, a box presence. I think that's one of the main points today. We need a striker. Of course, we saw it come out that they are looking to get a striker in the summer, and we're looking to offload 7 to 8 players to fund it, which shows how much of a financial mess they have got us into. From all loans and all the shenanigans with teenagers, it's just... We needed a striker in the summer. Didn't go for one. Osimhen was there. Didn't want to break the wage structure. Victor Gyökeres was there. Too old. We've went and signed 2 kids from Sporting Lisbon. 117 and 120. Dario Isugo was completed. We know Giovanni Quenda also completed, but 70 million we spent. 70 million euros we spent on those 2 players. Victor Gyökeres' release clause is less than that. I think if you ask anyone in this fan base, would you rather 2 kids? Of course, Giovanni Quenda is brilliant. I'm not writing him off at all. I think he's a brilliant player. We've not seen enough of Dario Isugo. But I think anyone would say, at this moment in time, would you rather go for Victor Gyökeres or would you rather go for 2 kids? I think the outstanding answer would be go for Victor Gyökeres. And I think it just shows that we do indeed miss Nicholas Jackson as well. Now, he was on that form before he got injured, but, apologies, it's not just about the numbers, the goals he scores. We know how instrumental Nicholas Jackson is to Enzo Maresca's system. We know the turns, he can pick up the ball, he can turn and go. That's why I think Cole Palmer is definitely missing Nicholas Jackson as well. That might be one of the reasons he's not playing as well. Of course, not the only one. We can't put it all on Nicholas Jackson, but I think definitely after this international break, we will have Nicholas Jackson back. We'll have Nani Madueke back. I think we will definitely see an improvement. I'm not saying we're going to go back to the way we were at the start of the season, but we will definitely see improvement. Now, that's it for the lineup. Now, another thing, take a look at the bench. 2 goalkeepers, 1, 2, 3, 4 defenders. Yeah, I'm counting that right. 1 midfielder, 2 midfielders, Romeo Lavia, and Tyreek George, the 1 attacker. Now, this just tells you, again, the squad building, not good enough. We've bought all these wingers, all these attackers, and yet you're having to rely on a teenager in Tyreek George. Of course, great player through Cobham, looked really promising. But in this sort of game, you need to chase a goal. You need something. Who do we bring on? Kiernan Dewsbury Hall. Scored the Messi goal in the week. What else has he done? He doesn't add what we're looking for. I don't know. Let's take a look. Kiernan Dewsbury Hall played 14 minutes. Touched the ball 15 times. Of course, it's not a very big sample size, but you know what I'm talking about. We should not be relying, after all the money, £1.5 billion spent, and Kiernan Dewsbury Hall and Tyreek George coming off the bench. I know we have injuries, but that's 3 first-team players, really, that we missed. It's not good enough. And then you look at the players we have elsewhere on loan. Your Renato Vega, of course, Joao Felix. is a bit exempt. He's not doing well. He's returning to Chelsea. AC Milan not going for him. But the squad building should be a lot better with 1.5 billion Great British pounds spent. Now, the consensus on this game, of course, not good enough. I'm not going to sit here and say a 1-0 loss away at the Emirates. But it just looked like we had no fight. It looked like no one wanted to, like I said, no one wanted to kill. We didn't have anyone that just wanted to go for it. And that's a problem. I don't think Enzo Maresca's necessarily lost the dressing room, but surely you go away to the Emirates. It's a chase for top 4. This is getting 9 games left in the season. You go for it. You go for this game. We didn't look like we wanted it. And Arsenal, like I said, they weren't even that good. Congratulations to them, the better team by far. But, yeah, guys, I don't really know what else to say. Another thing I wanted to quickly discuss before we end here is why Maresca's system has become so passive and slow. At the season, we of course saw the quick through the lines. I don't want to say basketball, but you know what I mean. It was quick, it was direct, it was go, 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 score, bam, like that. That's not the case anymore. Even against Southampton, Leicester, we're not doing that. Now, this is pure speculation. I don't know if it's because Enzo Maresca hasn't had time at that point to get his ideas across fully into what we're doing now. Maybe it was a bit of potch ball, because we know that was, remember the Man United game at home? This way, that way, this way, that way. Entertaining basketball, football. That's what we were doing at the start of the season. Of course, it was more intricate. It was more through the lines. You still saw Maresca's style coming through. But it just looks so flat. It looks like nothing now. And Maresca, he's got time to fix it now. I don't know. Maybe the players were that instrumental, Cole Palmer, Nico Jackson. These are big players that we missed in this game heavily. You saw how much a Cole Palmer would have benefited us in this game. You saw how much an Ani Madueke actually driving at people. Even a Mykhailo Mudryk to bring off the bench. That's something else. But it's just not good enough at the end of the day. And I'm not going to sit here and say Maresca out, because Maresca is a byproduct of what is happening at the top. Nothing changes till the top changes or goes. Now, I think we're going to wrap up that video here. I think that's everything I wanted to discuss. I think that's everything we needed to discuss in this game. And I really do want you guys to let me know in the comments. I'd love to have a conversation, because this is what this channel's for, is for opinions. People to get their opinions across, have conversations, and of course learn the news, stay up to date, all that good stuff. So please remember, if you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, because it's going to be daily videos, multiple videos a day. It's going to be onwards and upwards from here. Hopefully the same can be said for Chelsea Football Club, because it really needs to be. Now, might be another video later. If so, I will see you guys then, but make sure you have a great rest of your day, and peace.